From the moment we open our eyes as infants, we are bombarded with information. The world unfolds before us, a whirlwind of colors, sounds, and sensations. As we grow, we strive to make sense of this chaos, to find patterns and meaning in the seemingly random. We crave knowledge, not just as a means of navigating our environment, but as a way to understand ourselves and our place in the grand tapestry of existence. This thirst for certainty, this yearning for solid ground upon which to build our understanding of the world, is a fundamental human drive. Throughout history, philosophers have grappled with this quest for knowledge, seeking to define its nature, its sources, and its limits. One such philosopher, René Descartes, stands out for his radical approach to this age-old pursuit. Descartes, a 17th century French thinker, is considered the father of modern philosophy. His method, known as radical skepticism, challenged the very foundations of knowledge, urging us to question everything we think we know. By doubting everything, Descartes believed we could arrive at a core of indubitable truths, a bedrock of certainty upon which to build a system of knowledge that is both reliable and unshakable. Descartes' method of radical skepticism may seem extreme, even counterintuitive. After all, isn't it our existing knowledge that allows us to navigate the world, make decisions, and understand our experiences? However, as we delve deeper into Descartes' philosophy, we begin to appreciate the power and necessity of his approach. His insights into the nature of knowledge and the importance of critical thinking remain as relevant today as they were centuries ago, offering us valuable tools for navigating a world awash in information, misinformation, and uncertainty. Descartes began his philosophical journey by acknowledging the fallibility of our senses. Our senses, he argued, can deceive us. What we perceive as real may be an illusion, a trick of the light, or a figment of our imagination. He pointed to dreams, hallucinations, and optical illusions as evidence that our senses are not always reliable guides to reality. Moreover, Descartes recognized the limitations of our own reasoning. We are prone to errors in logic, biases in judgment, and the influence of preconceived notions. Even our most cherished beliefs, he argued, may be based on faulty assumptions or incomplete information. To illustrate his point, Descartes employed a series of thought experiments designed to expose the potential for error in our everyday beliefs. One such thought experiment involved an evil demon, a powerful and malevolent being dedicated to deceiving us. This demon, Descartes imagined, could manipulate our senses and our minds, creating a convincing illusion of reality that was, in fact, entirely false. While the evil demon may seem like a far-fetched concept, it served as a powerful metaphor for the inherent uncertainty of our knowledge. If we cannot be certain that we are not being deceived by an evil demon, Descartes argued, then we cannot be certain of anything at all. This realization led him to his famous dictum, cogito, ergo sum, I think, therefore I am. This statement for Descartes represented the only truth that could withstand the onslaught of radical doubt. He reasoned that even if his senses were deceiving him, even if his thoughts were being manipulated, the very act of doubting, of thinking, proved that he, the doubter, must exist. This realization that the existence of a thinking mind is the one indubitable truth became the cornerstone of Descartes' philosophy. From this foundation, he sought to rebuild knowledge, brick by brick, using only the most rigorous methods of reason and evidence. To understand Descartes' method of radical skepticism more fully, let's consider a simple analogy. A basket of apples. Imagine you have a basket filled with apples, some of which are rotten. You want to keep only the good apples, the ones that are fresh and edible. How do you proceed? The most reliable method is not to simply assume that all the apples are good or to pick and choose based on a cursory glance. Instead, the safest approach is to empty the basket and examine each apple individually. You might start by looking for obvious signs of rot, such as bruises, soft spots, or discoloration. Then, you might smell each apple, checking for any unpleasant odors. Finally, you might even cut open a few apples to examine their cores, ensuring that the rot hasn't spread internally. Only after this careful and thorough examination can you be confident that the apples you keep are truly good. Descartes' method of radical skepticism operates in much the same way. Instead of passively accepting all our beliefs as true, he urges us to empty the basket of our minds, to subject each belief to rigorous scrutiny. We must question everything, even our most cherished assumptions, and look for any potential for error, bias, or deception. Just as a rotten apple can contaminate the entire basket, so too can a false belief corrupt our understanding of the world. By identifying and discarding false beliefs, we create space for true knowledge to flourish. This process of doubt, of questioning and examining our beliefs, is not meant to lead us to a state of perpetual uncertainty. Rather, it is a necessary step towards building a foundation of knowledge that is both solid and reliable. Another helpful analogy for understanding Descartes' emphasis on clear criteria for knowledge verification is the parable of the poisoned mushroom. Imagine you are lost in the woods, starving and desperate for food. You come across a patch of mushrooms, some of which look delicious. However, you know that some mushrooms are poisonous, and eating the wrong one could be fatal. What do? You could simply trust your instincts and eat the mushrooms that look appealing. But in this situation, relying solely on appearances could have dire consequences. A wiser approach would be to seek out a reliable source of information, something that can provide you with clear and trustworthy criteria for distinguishing between edible and poisonous mushrooms. Perhaps you have a field guide with detailed descriptions and illustrations, or perhaps you can contact a local expert who can guide you. The key is to find a source of information that you can trust, one that provides you with a clear and reliable method for verifying the safety of the mushrooms. This parable highlights the importance of having a clear criterion for knowledge verification, especially when the stakes are high. In our daily lives, we are constantly bombarded with information from various sources: news outlets, social media, friends, family, and even our own intuitions. Not all of this information is created equal. Some sources are more reliable than others, and even seemingly trustworthy sources can sometimes get things wrong. Descartes recognized the need for a clear and reliable method for distinguishing between true and false beliefs. He argued that our beliefs must be justified not simply by appearances or subjective feelings, but by reason and evidence. Just as we wouldn't want to eat a mushroom without first verifying its safety, so too should we be cautious about accepting information without first subjecting it to critical scrutiny.